Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And it's Friday Friendship Club today, and this is the sign of Friday Friendship, where we link together in friendship and say hello to everyone. What are you going to do today to make today awesome? And I already see straight away in the chat is my great friend and supporter, Blue, from Blue's Self-Reliance. So a big hello to you, Blue. You're very welcome, as you know, and I thank you for being here. So I've lost my new hello. Oh, here we go. And my new hello, if people come in the chat. So yes, thank you indeed for coming along, supporting my channel. And of course, I always ask people if they see someone in the chat or on my live stream to go and check out their channel. Okay, let's try and speak in English today. So let's start today with Quote Corner for Friday. So these are new for a time, my Quote Corner for Fridays. And something I'm sharing with you for this month is something that is over both my channels, also on New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. And it's to say, check out my playlist on both channels of recipes. I've had a comment lately. Somebody saw a recipe on my channel and they said, oh, you should do some more recipes. And I was like, I've got playlists on both my channels of recipes, very frugal, easy to do, cheap recipes. So do check both channels out for the playlist of recipes. Okay, so let's get on with today's episode, and we're going to start with this. So these story times are completely different stories. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're sad, sometimes they're fact-based, all sorts of stories. So check out each week and you will see a different story time. Today's story time I like to call Rich Mama. Rich Mama. So we look at two contrasting people. We have Rich Mama, whose phrase was, I have everything. And then we had poor, the poor lady who had nothing. But she scrimped and she scraped and she enjoyed life and she did the best she could with what she had. Well, Rich Mama had her baby, and she truly had it all. Rich Mama had everything. So her phrase was complete. Rich Mama has it all. And the poor lady, she had a baby too. She scrimped and she scraped. She gave the baby everything she had. And the baby had happiness, love, and care. Sadly, Rich Mama then lost her baby. She had all the money in the world. She had everything she wanted, but she lost her baby. And the Rich Mama said to herself, I thought I have everything, but I have nothing. And the poor Mama said, I have nothing, and yet I have everything. So I hope you enjoyed that story time. Let me know your opinions of that. Truly, indeed, what is everything? Yes, money can buy you things, but there's certain things money can't buy. And of course, it doesn't buy happiness. Okie doke. Let's now go on to this. Question of the day. What animals do you have? Therefore, what are their names, if you indeed name them, if you're a homesteader with farm animals, and which animals would you like? So while you're pondering on that, let me know in the chat if you're on, or in the comments if you're watching this back later. I only have 4 cats, which you've seen many times, and I enjoy the rural life where I see wandering, roaming, particularly the rural goats. So here's a little clip of those. So I hope you enjoyed that. And in the chat, Blue was saying about money buying happiness. Blue says, no, it doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy coffee. And that's close. What is everyone else's vice? What is that one thing you can't do without, you really need? And then talking of animals, Blue says, I don't have any animals anymore, but maybe once all my surgeries are done, we will get a dog. Oh, and if and when we get land, then it will be more chickens and ducks and some goats. Oh, I can imagine you with all those, Blue. I really can. Have you got a specific type of dog, or are you someone like me that would just go to a rescue place and just see what's there begging to be taken home? Oh, that's beautiful. Really nice. Yes, I would love a dog. I've had dogs, but I just can't give things the attention every day right now. So we decided no dogs, and we don't have to come back to feed a dog or whatever else. So we both wanted a dog again, but there's so many dogs about, they're always running past. So Blue says, I would go to a rescue, but I don't want a small dog. It'd have to be a medium to large one. Yes, lovely. Oh, that would be great. That'd be really super. Really nice. Okay, let's do, oh, this is something I shared on my last live, and I'm going to share it again. Yes, yes. I talked on my last live on my other channel. I talked about making that. Oh my goodness, the problems I had making that. And I talked about it. If you want to know what went on, watch my last live on my other channel. It's horrendous time I had with that one. Anyway, let's go on to our next thing that we're going to do today. If I can find it, is this. So I thought I'd go a little bit harder today on the quiz, and we're going to talk about art and paintings. I'm not very good at this, so let's see if I can learn something from this today. I have 5 quiz questions. If you're watching this back later, tell me in the comments how many you knew. First question. The famous artist Michelangelo came from Italy. True or false? And while we're pondering on that, Blue's done a ooh. I'm assuming that's on that little clip. True, says Blue. The answer is true. Well done, Blue. 1 out of 5. Question 2. What was Van Gogh's first name? What was Van Gogh's? I nearly said it then. First name. What was Van Gogh's first name? I think it's one of those everyone knows, but whether you get it in your head is another matter. Blue says Vincent. 2 out of 5, Blue. Well done. Question 3. In what country are the famous Lascaux cave paintings? Ooh. Ooh, I'm sure we've all seen them. Do we know what country they're from? Lascaux cave paintings. Which country are they? Which country? Oh, Blue. 3 out of 5. France. Well done, Blue. Question 4. Were sculptures, cave paintings, or frescoes made on damp plaster? So which one of them are made on damp plaster? Sculptures, cave paintings, or frescoes? Ooh. So which were made on damp plaster? Sculptures, cave paintings, or frescoes? Well done, Blue. 4 out of 5. Ooh, frescoes, of course. Yes, some people might think, oh, damp cave, but no. And the last one, question 5. The Lascaux cave paintings feature paintings of reindeer. True or false? The Lascaux cave paintings feature paintings of reindeers. True or false? True or false? True or false? Giving Blue the chance to type in. True, says Blue, and Blue is 5 out of 5. Blue is a master of the knowledge of the arts. So, of course, for that, Blue, I think you deserve one of my very special clap moments. Wow, very good, Blue. Excellent. Fantastic. 5 out of 5. Yay, says Blue. Yay to you. And watch out for next week's quiz, a completely different topic, and we'll see how we go. That was definitely harder than last week's. Maybe I'll pick something medium-y next week. We'll see, but a completely different subject. Okay, let's do some questions. Some Q&As today, and that will probably be it for today. So we'll do some Q&A and finish with that today. So we'll start with first question. One thing you would like to change about the world? One thing you would like to change about the world, what would that be? I've talked quite a lot of different questions of this, so I'm going to think of something else. Something to change about the world. What else will we change? I always say about I'll tip the world on its head and change the bad jobs, have the good money, and the fun jobs, particularly in the entertainment sector, would have the low money. Oh, Blue saying about the questions you got right, helps being an artist and archaeology addict. True. Okay, Blue would like to change people's apathy. Yes, change people's apathy, definitely. So what else would I change? I think good people to not have illness and struggles. That sounds a bit mean in a way. But yes, I think that is something I would like to change if it was possible. Definitely. Yes, the good people need good. Okay, next question. Did you ever have a school teacher you disliked and why? This is actually something I was thinking about the other day. Not that I dislike the teacher in any shape or form, but in high school or senior school, I had a maths teacher, the same teacher all the way through. And at first I thought it was a bit strange how he taught, but it was a very good way. We had a squared maths book, exercise book, and he said, right, in those days you wrote with a fountain pen or an ink pen, okay? So he said, get out your pens, and he wrote things on the board, like sentences, and you had to write it in your squared maths book. And I thought, this is a bit odd, where's the maths? But what he did, I realised soon enough, he was actually making you make a textbook for maths. So you was writing how to do something. And then, of course, when you did your exams, you had a revision textbook technically, and then you would do the maths examples and write an explanation of why this was this. And then you would be given for homework some examples. So you couldn't even go home and not understand, well, how do I do that? What happened? You had it written there. So it was like the class was there again. If you didn't know how to do something, there was no reason to not do the homework. And in class, when he gave you some examples, if you didn't understand it, you asked then. So that was really good. And he also did, now, if anyone watching this knows what I'm saying next, you will have been to the same senior school as me. So do comment in the comments. He did this number line, and you had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So I had this number line to explain something at the beginning. And he drew a matchstick girl with a triangle skirt and a pointy nose, and he called her Phoebe. And Phoebe goes up 2 and minus 1. So what number is she on now, etc., etc. So if anyone knows Phoebe on the number line, you definitely went to the same senior school as me, because this maths teacher was there for eons, basically. Anyway, he was very good, and I completely got his method of teaching, because maths particularly, you have to understand the way the teacher teaches. It's like, what's it called? Subtraction. Couldn't think of the word subtraction. My mum does it in a really weird way. She borrows and pays back is the way she learned. And I don't get what she's doing. Well, I do, but it's like, what? Why don't you just take it off that number and then point where you want it? Anyway, so it depends how you've learned something, and that's your method. Some things, the way Mike shows me to do things, I don't get what he's even on about. You have to learn your way. Anyway, this maths teacher was brilliant. And then when I did my O-levels, for some reason I got switched to another class. I think there wasn't anyone in my class doing it. I was top grade, and I don't know why I wasn't in that class. I seemed to get switched for some reason. And I was in this other class with this maths teacher. And the first lesson, she's writing all this on the board and she's talking complete gobbledygook. And the others in the class are used to her method. So they're all getting on with it. And I didn't understand a single word of what she was saying or how she was doing it on the board. And that was me for the whole O-level course. I didn't understand a single word, or the way things I already knew how to do, I didn't understand the way she was doing it. And from that, she was teaching other things. I was completely lost. I did pass. I did pass my O-level. I think I got a B or a C, but that wasn't through her teaching. That was me going home and working with my dad, who was an accountant, amongst other things. And I didn't really get my dad's way, but he could explain things in different ways. So, yeah, I wouldn't say she was a bad teacher at all, because everyone else got on with her. She was a lovely lady. I couldn't understand a single thing she did. Blue says, Miss Ruginch, is that Ruginch? Ruginch? She was a nightmare, really nasty and quite violent. Wow, both verbally and physically. Wow. Ah, she was your French teacher. I'm going to guess she was French because they have a completely different method of teaching. Yes, I probably spelt her name completely wrong. Yes, I bet she was French. I remember one of my French teachers, went to about 4 French teachers. Each year we had a different French teacher, and luckily French is French, so there isn't different methods. And one we had, she was very nervous of the children. Now remember, it's high school, so we're age 11 onwards. Did I have her the first year? I think I did have her the first year. So why she's nervous of these new children in high school, goodness knows. Anyway, she was okay teaching. Half the class didn't listen and were playing and doing other things. I didn't learn very much French, let's say, in high school. And she was all right. She just would teach and try and ignore them, and because she would have no control of the class. And then she'd turn write things on the board. If you wanted to copy it and learn, you could. But if you didn't want to, she kind of left everyone to their own devices. But as the year progressed, she would turn right on the board, and she suddenly developed, she didn't have from the word go, she started to get this nervous tick in her neck when she was facing the board. And I'm not joking, by the end of the year, this nervous tick had spread through her body. Now, it wasn't an illness. I know people think, oh, she probably had something developing. No, she was dead nervous. It was only our class. Poor thing. Well, she chose to be a teacher in a high school. What can I say? We also had Mr. Dooley one year, and he was the brother of a family that was a pop group called the Dooleys. I'm sure some people have heard of those, and he was one of them, but he wasn't in the group. He didn't want to perform, but he was a musician as well, but he didn't want to be in the group. So yes, one of the Dooleys. Blue says, I did French for 5 years and still can't speak it. I wish I'd kind of learnt it properly, because that would have helped with Greek. English is one of the very few countries that doesn't have that whole verb thing where it changes from I, you, him, he, it, we, them, us. And the words change and the endings of the word changes in most languages depending on who did it. And also, for example, Greek has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think 12 different form of verb for one word. For example, past, present, future, which is all you get in English. And then you get different tenses, as in if they did it once, if they did it several times, if they did it one time only in their life, if they did it once but would continue doing it, if they did it and then stopped and restarted doing it. And these are all different verbs for one word, like I drank. And they're all different. I forget now all the different tenses. Past, present, future is all that you get in English, but you get I'll have to get out and just translate into English what those kind of tenses would be. But yeah, so if I'd learnt French, at least I would have got a hold on all those kind of changes of verb. Although obviously the language would be different, you would have had a better understanding of that to do another language, which is why English find trouble learning other languages more than any other country. Not only because we're not really taught to learn another language from day one of school, which most other countries do. They learn a second, third, fourth language right from little. So we don't really have the ability to learn other languages. They all say English is hard. That's only because in reverse, it's so different to the way their language is set up. So, yeah, okay. What's the time? Let's do another question. If you could live your life again, would you do anything differently? Certainly not, because if anything was different in my life, I wouldn't be here right now today. So definitely not. I certainly wouldn't be living in Cyprus. I might be living in another country, but Cyprus wasn't even on my radar, and I certainly wouldn't have been with Mike. So no, not a single iota. And yes, all right, bad things happen to me, but they have brought me where I am today. And as I always say, I take the bad stuff because in my mind, someone else has a good day when I have a bad day. There's only so much goodness per day. That's how I get through it. So no, it wouldn't change a single iota. I sometimes wonder if I'd taken one step this way instead of that way, what would have been different? I'd kind of quite like to see some parallel. That would be interesting. Not that I'd swap, no matter what the parallel was, I wouldn't swap. This is me. But I would kind of be interested. Sometimes I'm sure people wonder. Blue said, no, just had this conversation with someone this morning, actually. It could have been very different. I just chose to do it this way. It's what makes you you, isn't it, Blue? I mean, you're sort of the root of me, as in situations and problems, but it makes us who we are. And everyone loves you, Blue, for what you are and who you are. And from that, I think you bring more inspiration to other people. So, yeah. Yep. Yep, says Blue. Okay. Oh, next question. Finish the sentence. I wish I could steal. Oh, I wish I could steal. That's a good one. Not steal as in nick stuff. What do you wish you could still do? There's things I wish I could do that I've never been able to do, such as I love like not contortionism when it's like not good for the body, just like even gymnastics isn't good for the body, but an acrobat. I did learn, I went to acrobatic class in stage school, but as the teacher said, you wasn't meant to bend your back, Dawn. So I did do acrobatics. I wasn't any good at it. I love acrobatics. I love to watch it. I love all the counterbalancing stuff. You see it, I think it's an Olympic sport. They have 3 people in each group and they counterbalance, and not quite circus acrobat, but that kind of thing. And they stand on each other. It's teams of 3s. Lou says she wishes she could still work in a commercial kitchen. Oh, if I had to go back to a certain time, it would definitely be my last years when I was at stage school doing my last show, rehearsals. I loved rehearsals more than I loved the actual performance show. I did enjoy them, but there's something about the atmosphere of rehearsals, not even the dress rehearsal before the dress rehearsal. And I'm slowly getting there on my other channel, Everything Dance, Your Mentor. My lives are my dance journey. I can't put any more out at the moment because the bit I want to talk about next, which is my shows, I've got a missing gap. I can't think of all the dances for all the years, and there's at least one missing, if not 2. So I might jump and do another episode before that one and then come back to that one. I just can't think. But yeah, so dancing in general. I love doing choreography, but there was just something about being at stage school. It was the group I was with. So yeah, maybe dancing. I like teaching to a certain degree, but as time went on, children became different. I mean, I always had control over my classes, and you always had some that came because the parents wanted them to come, that kind of scenario. But it was different as time went on, and children were much more starting to go, well, I don't want to go today, and they'd be much more self-absorbed. So things did become different. So I wouldn't want to teach today, no. But it's all back era. Back era. Anything else I wish I could do? Well, obviously I'm older anyway, so you think you want to do a job in the garden or something like that, and your body gives out before you give out. But not that really, not that. Dancing, but not now. I wouldn't want to be dancing now anyway. It's not the same. So maybe when I had the dancing body. So yeah, right now, anything else I wish I could do? I would say drive, but I don't really mean I want to drive. I want to be able to get from A to B on my own. I don't want to drive to get from somewhere to somewhere else. I don't know. There's not really anything specific, no. Okay, next one. What changes since your youth have been for the better? Not a lot. I'm independent, so obviously as a youth, I was not reliant. I had to do what my parents said. So that is a definite huge plus. I can do what I want when I want. I couldn't wait for the day I left home. Definitely that. Yes, independent, doing what I wanted when I wanted. Yes. So that's definitely now better than my youth. Blue said, oh, that's a good one, Blue. Communication with people further away. Yes, that wasn't even a thing, really, was it? That's a brilliant answer. Yes. And obviously just skills in computers and stuff, they weren't even around. So that, going abroad, because I've mentioned before that my parents didn't go abroad. So I've seen a lot of the world since I've been on my own, away from parentism. Blue said it used to be one international phone call on Christmas morning. How much would that have cost, Blue? Do you know? Do you know what that would have cost? Would that have been really expensive? I never did that. And I bet you had to wait, or did you have to even book it in or have a set time? What else is good from not being young? I would say on a balance, my childhood versus adulthood, if I had to say which was better, there's better things both ways. I would say almost 50-50. If I'm talking about actually me, myself, because obviously I've got my issues, so that's a big minus. There were better things for being a child in my childhood, like I said, my activities and things, but there was also lots of drawbacks when I was a child as well. So I think overall, I think if you've got to sway it at all, I would have to say adulthood overall, because I can do whatever I want whenever I want. So that's got to be a big bonus. And yeah, so I would say overall, but I'd say it's pretty tight, because both adult and childhood, there's been things that have been horrendous, both sides of that. So it's got to be pretty close, 50-50. But I think if I've got to choose one because of doing whatever and where I live and so on and so forth, I think adulthood sways it. Blue says, I believe in the 80s, each call was around £50. That would have been a lot then. And my dad and mum made 5 of them. So that was everyone's present. Wow, £50. That's quite a lot, really. Goodness. What else? What else is better? Adulthood to youth. What else? Oh, obviously I could have pets, whereas we had cats when I was very small as a child. But we didn't get any more for certain reasons. Yeah, I think I've covered just about everything, different adulthood to childhood, what was better for me. Next question. Think back. Do you remember going to your first dance? Well, disco. Disco nightclub. Obviously at school, even in junior school, middle school, we had like school discos and that. But if we're talking about like out and about, I would say it was like the nightclub stroke discos. I went to Sinatra's, if anyone knows Sinatra's, and Cinderella Rockefellers. They were the two I used to go to. Oh, Mr. Colin Waffles is here. Come and say hello then. Here he is. I've had Kit all day sleeping on me. Here's Mr. Colin Waffles. Me purring. Blue says hated it, avoided them so much. Bless him. Yes, do bless him. He's been a good boy lately for a change. And a good boy. He's going to sleep now. Yes, I think Sinatra's and Cinderella Rockefellers, if I remember rightly, you had a meal there as well. I can't remember how much it was going. It couldn't have been too much. And you had a meal there. See, I got away with it because I went with my stage school friends. I didn't go with school friends. Went with stage school friends, and I've said before that they were much older than me because I started so young that I was in with an older group. So they used to go and take me along with them. And then I went with boyfriends, various boyfriends. But yeah, Sinatra's was a little bit more shabby. But Cinderella Rockefellers was much nicer, but I think it might be a little bit more pricey. Yeah, they were good. Obviously, being dancers, we liked the music and that. Blue says the first club I ever went to was Stringfellows. Ooh, when we were 15, because I went to school with Pete's goddaughter. I didn't know that. Cool. Cool. Where else did I go? They were the main ones. As I got more adulty, when I worked worked at a nursery school, and we used to go clubbing, more bar type sort of clubs. Where else did we go? We used to go to Crazy H a lot, which was more a cocktail bar. And I used to go to Sports, which again was a cocktail bar. And when Wimbledon Town Hall, which was a theatre, people think I mean Wimbledon Theatre, but it was called Wimbledon Town Hall, but it was actually bigger than Wimbledon Theatre. I used to do my stage school used to do the shows there, and they did actually go for Wimbledon Theatre first of all, but there's barely any dressing rooms there and they're dead small. So you couldn't have got like a dance school. Or I say a dance school, it was like huge, but you wouldn't have even got a dance school really in there. And the stage isn't very good. It was very small, and there's less seating than there was in Wimbledon Town Hall. Wimbledon Town Hall is now Wimbledon, I think it's called Courts, and it's a shopping mall. And in there was a cocktail bar, and I started going in there quite a lot as well, the cocktail bar. Yeah, so they were kind of where I went mostly. Can't think of anywhere else I particularly went. Oh, you came back up. I thought you got down. Coming back up. All right, go there. Yes. Okay, next question. Do you remember your grandparents? Well, my nan and granddad on my mum's side were still alive, and my nan and my granddad on my dad's side were still alive. My great nan on my mum's side was also still alive until I was, I think, 3. So they're what I knew, both sets of grandparents and my great grandma on my mum's side. They were complete opposites, my grandparents. The grandparents on my dad's side, I used to call them Grandad and Nanny Wowo. That wasn't their name, obviously. And that's because they had a dog. Now, I don't remember the dog. And I think it might have been the dog of my dad's twin brother that they were looking after for some time. Or they might have had a dog. I have to check with my sister. But I called her Nanny Wowo. We didn't see them a lot. They moved to Worthing and we were in Surrey, so a bit of a drive there. So we didn't go there a lot, and they were prim and proper. Like we were warned as children. We were good children anyway, well behaved and polite, and I was dead quiet. But we were warned before we went there, don't do anything that they can pick up on. I was like, okay. And we always had salad when we went there. Now, as a little child, we didn't eat salad at home when I'm like children's food. We didn't eat that. And I always remember there would be salad. And that was basically what we always had there, salad. But that nan also used to make proper English, like desserts, as in fatty type desserts, really nice desserts and cakes. I remember that. And I always remember that nan always did knitting. She knitted everything. And she had one of those, you know what you used to have to cover toilet rolls in the bathroom? Some people would have like a doll and they'd knit a dress that went over. And she knitted poodles that went over. And then my nan and granddad on my mum's side, that's the one on this channel where I do her autobiography. I'm reading that. I knew them, well, until not long before I left England. My granddad had died. My nan was still alive when I left England, but she's died now. And my nan literally brought me up for different reasons, which I haven't been into. I would be with my nan more than I'd be with my mum. I would go home to bed. Oh, I say that. I did stay with my nan quite a lot as I got older as well and slept there. But I was with her. She used to take me up to dancing and take me out and look after me and whatever else. So I was very, very close to her. And when she died, it was like my mum died. It was really sad. So, yes, I remember them very well. My nan taught me many, many things. And as I'm reading her autobiography, I find it quite strange. Things I didn't know about her and her past, they match me. They absolutely match how I am and things I've done. So I find that very interesting. I do have a couple of things of my nan's here, which I'll show when I get to that point in the story. Blue says, my grandparents were my parents. The lady I called my Nana Lucy was my great-grandmother. Oh, you knew her too. She lived with us until she passed away when I was 12. Oh. Okay, what's the time? Let's do one more. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. What did you do during your school holidays as a child? Oh, that's quite a good one. What did you do in the school holidays when you was a child? Well, when I was, I'm not sure what age, I'm going to guess 8. I might be wrong. My mum and dad bought their first caravan. So school holidays and weekends, we would be there. We would do that. As I got older, I was dancing until about 5:30 at night on a Saturday. And so sometimes we would like literally go straight from there. They'd pick me up and we'd go. So I had to have all my stuff there. School holidays, I wasn't allowed to go out to friends or whatever else. My mum didn't work. My mum never worked after she married my dad. So it gives you some idea. Mum was always at home. She did do, as we got older, we could have one day in the summer holidays when Dad would do a barbecue and we could choose 2 friends each. So that was something we started doing. I think I was quite old by then when we started doing that. Maybe 11, 10, something like that. We'd always have our holiday. We'd go to Pontins or something like that. But as I say, we'd be down the caravan. I don't remember why or when this was, but I remember one lot of school holidays. Oh, I think I know why it was. I've lived in 3 houses with my parents. The first one was in Brookwood in Surrey when it was countryside. The second one was in Sutton in Surrey. And the third one was also in Sutton in Surrey, but it was being built brand new. And funny enough, at that point, it was my dad's parents that lived in a road which ended up being around the corner to that. And it's a cul-de-sac where their last house was built, my parents' last house. And that cul-de-sac was allotments for my dad's parents. And they got wind before it was all going through as to new houses were being built. They told my dad, and that's how we ended up there. And there was some problem with the time span of selling the house and moving to that one. We went and stayed with my nan and granddad. Now I remember why it was. Because I remember in the school holidays, obviously my dad had to work, and I remember Mum kept taking us out for like long days, and that wasn't a thing we really did much in the school holidays. I was thinking, why did she take us out and where was Dad? And that's why it was. She would take us out so we weren't staying with, we stayed with my mum's mum and dad, the nicer ones, the ones I liked all the time, and we stayed with them. So Mum didn't want us to be there, although there was no problem, but she thought it was nice to take us out every day of the school holidays, so we weren't there all day, every day in the school holidays. That's what I think it was, if I remember rightly. So we went to London Zoo. So it would be, we went to London a lot then. So it was a full day out. Went to London Zoo, Tower of London, all those kind of places. Somewhere I used to like to go a lot was Chessington Zoo, and I've talked about this many times before, when it was called Chessington Zoo, when it was a zoo. I like zoos. Blue says, whatever my parents decide we were doing, if anything. Yeah, we're from a similar generation where what your parents, they were in control, what they said, that's what happened. This is why it really gets me when you hear families these days and you have to pay to take the children somewhere and do things and the holidays. No, most of our holidays we played in the garden at home. We created our own games and amusement. So apart from this year, particularly when we were living with my nan and granddad this summer holidays, mostly it was stay at home and play. That's what it was about. Blue says one year we went to Jersey, another we went to the Isle of Wight, but mostly we used to go and visit my mum's family in Devon, Cornwall and Somerset. What a lovely part of England that is indeed. I think that's one of the best areas, definitely. I love Scotland as well, but it's cold. But when it's not cold, I do like the scenery of Scotland. I like living where I ended up. I lived in Wallington, which is It is in Surrey still, but a lot of people think of it as South London. So it's still the suburbs. It is Surrey. Wallington is Surrey. But quite near to that is Croydon. So then people start to think you're talking South London. And I liked it there. I had parks all by me, massive parks, not like little parks, massive parks. And but everywhere was so accessible on the train. There was a station right there, and I could be in West London for shopping or performing or working within 20 minutes on the fast train into London. So I liked where I lived. I really did. Yeah, I go for walks down the beach in Wales because we always live really close to the coast. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Do you know what? I'm fairly near the sea, as in I can't walk to the sea. I can see the sea, but we rarely actually go to the beach because in Cyprus, most places you drive, you can see the sea. I think it's not a novelty in that respect. And this area of Cyprus, right where I am, there's not like promenades or anything like that. I do like the beach. And here there's a lot of private beaches. I guess you've got that a lot in Wales as well. You've got your little coves and things like that. Yeah, there's some lovely scenery in Wales, but again, rain and cold. But yeah, I would much rather go for mountain walks than I would walk along the beach. Yes, and I've got forest up further up from me. Blue said it was normally around a 5-minute walk for us because we lived in Aberporth, Milford Haven, and that one. Lantwick Major, is it? Lantwick Major. I don't know that one. Never heard of that before. Oh, never heard of Lantwick Major. I'll have to look that up. Never heard that. Is it a small place? Is it small? Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, some lovely, lovely scenery around Wales. Really lovely. Really beautiful. It's just by St Anthony, the RAF base, right? Cool. Lovely, jubbly. Very good. Okie doke. Well, I think I'm going to finish there today. We've had some really awesome questions. Thank you, Blue, for being here. Really appreciate it. Saves me talking to myself like a yo-yo. You've brightened my day for sure, definitely. So I'm going to finish there. Don't forget to check out my other channel if you don't know it. New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. And don't forget to always drop comments so I can come back and thank you for supporting both or either of my channels. So thank you very much for doing that in advance. Blue says, no worries, always happy to be here when I can be. You're very welcome, very welcome. So I will see you, what is it? It's Friday today. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. So I will be back with a live on Monday on my other channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus, and hope to see you there. Bye for now.